Yo, what's up? I'm currently back at home on my bed, back from the camp, the dance camp I was at. My throat is kind of fucked. Like, I don't know. This morning I just woke up and, um, yeah, I was a little messed up. I was like coughing and stuff. I feel like maybe I didn't drink enough water the night before, or I don't really know what it was, to be completely honest. But yeah, I got that going on. I was like sneezing throughout the day and stuff. A little congested, some may say, but that's cool. And yeah, I just decided to keep the streak going, record another video today. Um, and yeah, we're here, man. We're out here. I don't really know what I'm gonna talk about. Check out these new jeans though. They're actually the same as the pair I'm wearing, just a different color. Bershka made these like really, really baggy jeans, and let's see, I've been into baggy pants for the last couple of years, maybe like 4 or 5 years, and I feel like the baggier, like the baggier that you start wearing, you almost want even baggier and baggier and baggier. To a degree, obviously, like in the right way, the right fit, but yeah, man, these are big, man. Like, look at that leg opening, man. I love it. Um, and yeah, man, I'm back here. I'm back at home. Um, I actually have a couple of weeks off from university. It's like my middle of the year break in between the two semesters. I technically have stuff that I should be doing. I don't know if I should be doing, but there's stuff that I could catch up on, and I have some classes from previous semesters that I haven't actually finished that I would need to like do the projects for to pass those if I want to graduate. Um, and yeah, I'm in my third year out of four. So it's kind of creeping up on me. Like, I wouldn't really want to have to be catching up in my final year, where I'm like focused on, I guess, my diploma stuff, like my project for the whatever you call it, the graduation project or whatever. But even that just sounds so weird saying that. Like, recently, it's weird, man. Like, recently, like, even though I'd be learning some useful stuff in university, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm really done with the structure of it all, and not the bureaucracy, because honestly my university is quite free. With You have options on how you can pass classes. You don't have to do exams. You could do projects or presentations, and as long as you're active through the semester and you do your tests or whatever your professor has decided to be your way of grading. If you do that, you do your projects, you're active, like, you can pass the classes without doing an exam at the end of the semester. So technically it's like free, but I'm just like, I don't even know, man. Like, yeah, I don't even know. Like, I'm just like, I've been really privileged, I guess, ever since after high school. I've been privileged in general in my life, but I've been privileged in the sense that ever since I finished high school, I've been receiving money from my parents' job, for attending university or different things like that. There was one year when I was just in Portugal studying Portuguese in like an intensive course. And even for that, I received some money for that, less than a university degree. But it's basically like their job has an extra benefit that if their kid is under 25 and is studying in university, they receive extra money that is like intended to like be a financial support for the kid, so that um so that they can study, without having to necessarily work. In many cases, like, you still have to work to live like a yeah, even just to honestly, even just to like live a more regular life. Um, but since I'm living in my parents' apartment currently and stuff, the money is enough to cover like my food and dance classes and stuff. And if I'm being frugal, the rent for the studio that I'm renting with my boys for music and stuff. But basically, what I'm trying to say is I've been very privileged with that, because for most of that time, like pretty much all of that time, I haven't actually had to work a job. Um, I worked a job for like 2 months in Portugal, and then like a few random gigs there as well after that. But that's pretty much it. And then the past year, well, actually, yeah, and then like the past year, for like a couple of months, I was doing like gardening once a week just to get like a little bit of cash by myself. And that felt nice, you know. It was cool. Like it was just like extra money that I made for myself. Um, and then the past year, my main income and like my biggest income to this time in my life, has been these like commercials that I've been in. So like acting in a commercial, whatever. I'm really like going off on a tangent, but what I'm trying to say is that because of that like financial crutch that I've had, um, up until now, I guess I've been able to live quite freely and intuitively, and there's less pressure with the uni stuff and everything because it's like my parents aren't actually paying for it like out of their own pocket technically. Um, and yeah, I'm not weighing down on them in that sense financially. So it kind of liberates you, you know? Like obviously, um there's things that happen that like require more than that money, and that's where these commercials have been really coming in clutch because they pay really well. Um, but either way, man, that money is important to me, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a big reason why I'm in university and why I'm studying. Because had it been another way where I had to like work to sustain that, or my parents have to pay out of their own pocket for me to study, I don't know if I would be studying because I don't know. In my life, it didn't feel like university is this thing that I really want to do. It's just in this case, in my case, it's quite convenient. It really incentivizes you wanting to study, and that's also one of the aims of this like benefit to incentivize people to study. Um, and thankfully, I'm studying something that I am interested in, which is music production. But it's still university. It still has its random stuff, and yeah, sometimes there's stuff going on and I'm like on a wave and I'm flowing, and I feel like sometimes the university stuff it's so like structured and like more rigid, and everyone has to kind of pass in the same path to get that diploma to um get certified or whatever, which doesn't really mean anything for me because like I don't know, music production diploma by itself doesn't really do much. And I'm not really someone that necessarily wants to be working like a regular job, like being employed at a studio as a sound engineer or something. It's not really my goal. Um, so in that's what I'm saying. That's why that like certification doesn't really mean much, because if you're working as a freelancer, or if you're creating your own music, your own career, or whatever, um, like it's all about what you're doing and your experience and what you show, and that you know you show these clients that like yeah, I can make fire stuff, I can produce dope stuff. The diploma by itself doesn't really mean anything. But again, going off on a tangent, I don't know what I started saying, but oh yeah, like I'm in a break, but it feels like this oh, it's like a transition period. I don't really know what's going on. I don't really know where the next step is for me, to be completely honest. I'm gonna show you my room. My room is cooked, and honestly, it's been like, look at that pile of clothes. Like there's shit everywhere, and like that's my desk. Like I don't even use that desk. It's just storage. So, and it's low key been like this. Like it'll get better. I clean up a little bit, but like the deep clean that is necessary, and like there's so much random stuff from my childhood and all these like compartments and stuff, which limits me from being able to put the stuff away in an organized manner. It's more just like stuff things away, put it away, clean it up. Then as soon as I use it again, it's just all over the place. So yeah, and that's been happening. It's been a thing for like months now. Like I said, on and off, but um, and I feel like that's a real like representation of kind of where I'm at. Like I don't know. There's moments where I feel like I'm in a routine and things make sense and stuff. And now that I'm in a place right now where it doesn't feel like things make sense, I actually feel like things are pulling me in the right direction. It's just there are those like growing pains and almost like, oh, like I don't know if I fit, if like the version of myself that I am right now or that I'm also becoming, I don't know if it necessarily fits the life that I've been living up until now. Um, and it's just sometimes hard to tell when is the time to take like a more drastic step, whether it's like move out on my own so I have more freedom, but I have to pay my own bills, so I have to have more income. Um, or like, do I go fully like, man, fuck the uni stuff? Like, I'm tired of thinking about, oh, I have these things I need to catch up on, like stupid stuff, man. Like my university has because I'm living in Bulgaria and I'm Bulgarian, and for example, for some reason in the first year of the university, like the bachelor's, they have a whole course in on Bulgarian, like the language and stuff, and like writing essays and stuff, which is like, bro, like we've been doing that for like 12 years. Like, why are we still doing stuff like that? And I passed all my stuff for that class except for doing a presentation, just because I was like, man, fuck this is stupid. Um, and it's just like stuff like that that's just kind of like in the back of, not even in the back of my brain, but like if I wanna, I guess it is just like, yeah, I don't even know, man. But there's stuff like that, and sometimes I wonder if it's just time for me to just say fuck all of that stuff and really take it as like, man, I'm basically getting paid to do this. Let me take and soak up what's important to me. Completely stop caring about actually wanting to get the diploma at the end. Just soak up as much as I can in the next year and a half, which is what I have left when it comes to like curriculum and classes. And don't stress the other stuff. Like if it happens, if I finish the stuff, if I get a diploma, cool. But if I don't, who cares? But there's obviously that part of me that's like, family would be expecting you to finish it because obviously it's been like a big part of your life for the last few years, and they feel like you've made a commitment. And yeah, even though my parents aren't necessarily themselves financing it, it's still like a benefit they receive from their job. So like maybe they would think that that's just me being like lazy or whatever. I don't really know, and know that that should 100% matter, but like I still respect their opinion and stuff. And yeah, there's like all these different sides to it. So that's where I'm finding myself right now, I think. And yeah, I don't know like I'm just here to talk, man. I'm just here to talk. I guess I'm just gonna keep thinking of this as like a video journal of like my ADHD ass brain, even though like that's such a buzzword, because I don't actually have ADHD, or at least like I've never actually gotten diagnosed, or you know what I mean, like whatever. But yeah, I guess what I meant is like my scattered thoughts. At times they're scattered, and right now, they felt like scattered for me to even be on the video and talk about anything. Cause I just turned the camera on and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, hello." Um, so we'll see. Maybe in the future I'll like meditate before the videos, like my mind's a little more clear, and we'll see. But yeah, that's life, man. I'm basically in a bit of a messy room, and there's like other things that are happening. Um, I live with my brother in this apartment. It's my parents' apartment. They live abroad, so like, the apartment is free. Like it's just sitting here. So me and him have been living together for the last like 2.5 years since I started the university course. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Shit goes in phases, but right now we're kind of in a phase where we're not even really like talking to each other. Um, and yeah, we just clash on certain things. Not even on some deep stuff, but just mostly stuff as like house chores, like cleaning up the house and stuff. And I feel like for me that's important, and I guess it's a little less important for him right now with his priorities, because he's working a job and stuff. And yeah, it's not as important for him to like keep the house clean and everything because he has his job, and then he wants to rest, which is like understandable. But obviously we live together, and yeah, I don't even know. But so there's just different things going on in my mind. Is it time for me to move out and make that commitment? Maybe it's gonna be something really good for me because it's gonna make me expand and it's gonna get me creative when it comes to making money. And technically, like I was doing the math, like with the money I made in the past year from these commercials, if I make a similar amount of money this year, it wouldn't like completely cover my rent for that year of like the places that I've been looking at that are possible for me to rent. It wouldn't, but it would cover like a good amount, like more than half. So like the rest of that could be other things, you know, maybe making beats for people or recording people in the studio that we have, which is something that I think could definitely be happening. And it's already happening, but I haven't really been active. My two homies have been way more active with that stuff, you know, production and songwriting. I haven't really yet because maybe I just still don't fully like have the confidence for it. Maybe I don't feel like I'm as a like experienced with that stuff yet, but something like just recording people's vocals is something that I mean I've done so much for myself and I can easily do. Um, so yeah, we'll see, man. There's a lot of different avenues, man, for making money. Um, Even technically this YouTube stuff, like who knows? Maybe this shit will pop off. You know, I was in like I kind of doubt this exact video would pop off, but then again, man, that's a limiting belief. Like maybe this shit could pop off. Like why? I don't know, but people are attracted to random ass things, man. Different things. Like I've been watching some videos that sometimes are so different from what you would think would be like a popular video or something, but it just feels real or raw or something resonates. Or I'm just like, man, I feel this shit, and it just makes sense. And I'm not saying that this necessarily would be that, but it could be. And if not this, like maybe I don't know. After some months, who knows? Something could evolve. So, um, and even with the commercial stuff, man, I haven't like actually looked at any of the out of Bulgaria things. You know, there's like agents that can get you gigs in the UK and in the US, which is like way better pay and stuff. And like one of those could technically like cover like my rent for the whole year just by itself. Um, but yeah, this video isn't necessarily even about that stuff, but it just feels like there's just these different things happening. And um, like I said, I do think that the self-worth part that I was talking about in the last video, like has an effect in it. I feel like if you improve your own sense of self-worth and self-esteem and self-belief, those steps that feel like these big risky steps or whatever just happen so much more naturally. Like you're just in flow, you trust yourself, and you're okay even if like you mess up and you make a mistake or you fall because you're moving forward. And I do think I've moved forward a lot, and it's important to acknowledge what I've done in the last few years and the cool things that have been happening thanks to me like opening up and entering places of discomfort, even with the dancing stuff and with the commercial stuff, just like putting myself out there with the studio, which felt like a big risk, um, and all these different things. Like, so I'm proud of myself for that stuff for sure, but yeah, it just might be time for another step, you know, and it could be as simple as like clean your room, um, swallow your pride and clean up the apartment yourself, even if it's your brother's turn to clean the apartment, because maybe he's tired or he doesn't have time or he doesn't prioritize it as much. Why should you be in an unclean or untidy environment just because of your pride of like, no, this isn't fair, like we have to do it 50-50? That's like the exact same thing that you sometimes wonder or you judge in your brother when it comes to other things. You know, he's very like, no, it has to be 50-50. Um, so it's just interesting, you know, just taking responsibility for myself, even if it's not about, you know, moving out, but it's like, why don't I act as if I'm by myself in this apartment? Even though like, yeah, we're both responsible for it. Why don't I take responsibility by myself? Why wait for it to be always even? Um, so there's so many different things that are actually really big mindset shifts that are actually the actions themselves are small, but it's just like an internal shift. Um, And I think those things can really spiral in a really positive way. And I guess they can in the opposite way too. But yeah, basically that's it. That's all I want to say. It was kind of, this video was even harder to make, I feel like, because it's just like a little chaotic. And yeah, I don't really know what I'm saying, but it is what it is, you know? I'm out here. I'm a human being, you know what I'm saying? Just like you, figuring it out or not. And yeah, I think I'm gonna just keep sharing, you know? We'll see. Love.